I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Scott Duff here along with Ellen Miller.
Good morning, Scott Duff.
Good morning, Ellen Miller. And a happy 4th of July weekend.
4th of July weekend. Of course, we got all the weather that you could possibly have to make it crazy.
Girl.
I know.
My neighbor started building an ark.
Yeah.
To save little animals.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, we had a lot of rain around here.
And there was more last night after we went to bed.
Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is.
Everything. But we hope everybody out there is enjoying a lovely holiday weekend and that you're celebrating America's 250th. However, you needed to celebrate it. I know it's kind of
conflicted.
It's a weird. It's odd. They're like, oh, huh, interesting. Okay, a lot of that for me yesterday.
Very good explanation.
Yeah, I'm just kind of. It was a little gobsmacked, but I this year more than ever, they actually took some time out and really just stopped and thought about what Independence Day really is. And for that, I'm grateful. And I think a lot of people, we've been saying that, I said this, the best thing out of the first administration was that people actually became engaged and became involved and became like in their community and what's going on in the world, what's going on in our government, what's going on in our politics, people. So I think that level of engagement, I think if we're looking for a positive, that's something that I think is really beneficial, especially as we were commemorating the 250th year of us declaring independence from England. So,
Yeah, my friend Judy Gold, who we've had on the show, friend of the show, she's a comic from from New York. She posted something. She goes, nobody's been down on this country more than I have, but, it's the 250th anniversary. Let's find something good that we can celebrate about the country.
Yeah.
There are good things about the country that are great. She goes, I'm a Jew and a leslie. I got a lot of, this country's been driving me crazy. But, there are a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
And those were words to take to heart because it's easy to dwell on all the negativity because there's so much of it out there and so much bad stuff going on. But we were around really good friends last night. And we were like hugging each other and saying, we're grateful that we are together, we have each other, we have good health, and that we're here in Chicago, enjoying Independence Day.
Yeah. And we, same thing. We did the same. But also I think it was really great to go into this weekend after having the Pride Parade last weekend. And we're going to get into all of that today on the show. And because, I am so gay, to remind you how gay I am, and I often, for some reason, quote Rent, even though I also have very weird feelings about that. One of my favorite lines in there is the opposite of war is in peace. It's creation. And we have got some artsy-fartsy stuff coming up on the show today. Stephen Sondheim's Tony Award-winning A Little Night Music is now playing at Marriott Theater. I love this show so much.
What songs are from it? Because I don't know.
The big one is Send in the Clowns.
Oh, yes, of course.
But the whole, it is just unapologetically romantic. It feels like a grown folks show, even though it's for everyone. It's beautiful. It's a witty examination of love, jealousy, and desire. And we're going to be joined. We're going to be chatting with actor Alan H. Green later in the show, so I can sing songs at him.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's gonna love that.
Oh, I bet
he's gonna love it. And we'll see why he was cast and I was not. Oh, and also Raven's smash hit Octet. It's an a cappella musical about the impact of life online. Is moving downtown to the Goodman Theater for a limited run. I'm like, mad props to Raven Theater.
That's fantastic.
I believe this is their very first musical that they've ever done.
And look how it turned out.
Well, it was like one of their best-selling shows in the history of the theater.
I couldn't get in. I was trying to see it before it closed, but now we have another chance.
I know, we do. And director Kira Fromm is going to be joining us in the second hour. And, of course, we want to hear from you. Were you at the Pride Parade? Did you listen to the parade broadcast live right here on WCPT Heartland Signal? What are your thoughts about celebrating Independence Day during a time when it's a very just odd time. We would love to hear from you. So you can give us a call or you can text us at 773-763-9278. The number again is 773-763-9278. And you can listen to Out Chicago live Sundays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central on at 8:20 a.m. on TuneIn from heartlandsignal.com, or you can watch the live video stream on the WCPT Facebook page or the Heartland Signal YouTube page. Today's show is live on Facebook, and we're reading your comments, so please leave your thoughts, as well as like and share the page. Find it at facebook.com/WCPT820. Look, I know you've had an eventful week because you went to Ice Boy.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, cool. But first, before we get to that, I really want to talk about the Pride Parade.
Yeah, let's do.
Holy smokes, what a day.
Always fantastic.
It really felt like, it's always fun, but this year felt different. It felt like it was a true representation of the Chicago's and a celebration of Chicago's LGBTQ community. I don't know if it's because we managed to get all of the grand marshals on the show before, but there was something about, you could just see the way people were marching down. There was still a little bit of that edge of protest that was
defiance.
That was going on there, and joyful defiance, because it was so like everybody. It was a beautiful day. Everybody was great. It just, I don't know. What did you?
I think that's an apt description. I mean, I felt like people were like, yes, we're here. Yes, we're marching, and we still need to be here. And this is more important than ever.
Yeah.
I just got that kind of a vibe from the people. It didn't seem as superfluous as it has been in the past years, as far as like, it seemed more serious to me a little bit. I don't,
Yeah. But that's what I mean by the tone. There was something.
Yeah.
It was still celebratory, but it was also, there was an urgency behind it.
Yes.
Behind everything. Were there any highlights that kind of stuck out to you?
I always like some of the same things. I like the schools. I love when the churches are marching, in this day and age when the Christian right has tried to use Christianity in a way that is anti-Christian. It's great to see Christianity being, on display as loving, caring, inclusive. I always love seeing that. I love the Dykes on Bikes every year, of course.
Come on now.
I just have a big smile.
Come on. Well, one of the, just speaking of that one, we had some friends. I brought some friends to hang out with us while we did the recording.
Nice to meet them.
And my friend Brooke, this was her very first Pride Parade. I have no idea how that. I mean, because she's a queer lady.
Wow. And where does
her
she
wife?
live?
She lives next door to me.
And she'd never been?
She had never been.
She was from out of town.
No. My friend Karen was from out of town. Brooke, she's my next door neighbor. She and her wife.
How come they never?
She's like, I don't know why I haven't been. And it's like, there was also, since around like the past couple of years, she's like, I get a little nervous about being around a parade. There's just something, a little anxiety. And I'm like, no, I get that. I totally get that. But that's part of the reasons why we have a parade, is to show up in spite of that.
Safety
that sort of safety in numbers. So she was just kind of like taking it all in. And then at the start of the parade, you could hear the Dykes on Bikes revving up their things, and Jerry just tapped on her. She's like, "Hey, do you hear that?" She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Do you hear that?" She's like, "Look down that way," and she did. And all of a sudden, these the ladies came through, kicking off the parade, which is so fantastic.
So perfect.
It's so perfect. It's so perfect. And just watching her, like her face was just like, oh, like I didn't get to spend as much time because we were talking on the radio,
right.
but to have like she was like, "This was so great. Thank you so much for."
It'd be fun to see it through her eyes for the first time.
Yeah, like that was really, really cool to me. And like again, and also I kind of like to think that it is a metaphor. The Dykes on Bikes kicking off the parade, because who showed up? In the height of the AIDS crisis, who is at the forefront of organizing and trying to protect our rights? The lesbians.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very, very true. And I'm like, it's always great that like, all right, ladies, let's set the tone.
Hence the grand marshals, 3 of them were women.
Yeah.
Lesbians.
Yeah,
So.
but that was like
Yeah.
it was that to me it was really kind of cool to watch all that unfold, and of course like having our guests on like Cam McDonald, how wonderful.
She's so great
to hang out with her. Always a treat. Make sure you check out
it's Pandemonium, Please Hold.
There we are.
So on the main stage, Second City. It's so great, so funny. She's fantastic in it. Go see it.
There we go. And it was also great to have like Ken Mejia Beal.
Ken's always great. He's funny too. He could be a comedian himself.
Oh, dear Lord.
He's very funny.
He is something else. He is something else these days. He is feeling it. And I'm loving it.
Yes.
And also, it was really cool to have Dean Richards.
Dean Richards, who has been on the WGN float for 35 years, the entire almost time that GN's been in the parade. And he lost his job along with several others in February, just were fired unceremoniously. And I've been running into him at different openings the last couple of weeks, and I know he was kind of like, it's my first Pride. I don't even know how to watch. I go, you know what? We have this.
We know how to watch
broadcast on Center on Halstead. If you want to come watch with us, and he's like, I might take you up on that. And I thought he probably won't, but he did, and he came, and he. We got him on the air, and he was really nice.
It was
to
really
have him
great,
with
and
us
it was
for a
also
few
like
minutes.
you could see how he was affected. He's like,
Yes.
because like I've been on that's one of the things too. Like, I love being on the float. It's great, but all you see is the people in front of you and the people behind you. You don't get to see the community literally on parade. And that was another thing that was a really, really big highlight for me, was just to be like, as you were saying, it felt a little more serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's what our friend Karen was saying. She's like, there wasn't a lot of like sparkles, razzle dazzle, because she lived in San Francisco for a very, very long time. So she's like, I'm like, yeah, but I think just different times call for like a different kind of parade.
I agree. I mean, but it was celebratory, but it was also the tone was serious because a little bit. I mean, it's fun. It's
it was fun, but I mean, again, it was just more like, let's not forget why we're here.
Yeah, and I think
that was a good reminder, and it was always so great to see the elected officials walk by. Girl, Precious Brady Davis, the Water Reclamation secretary, she was just great. Like, she was great. We locked eyes as she was walking by. It was great, but also I am always so proud of our governor, J.B. Pritzker.
And he was looked up to us and was waving at us.
Yeah.
It was so great.
It was so wonderful. Like, but one of the cool things that before the Pride Parade kicked off, Governor Pritzker signed 3 LGBTQ rights bills into law right before the parade kicked off.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, I know, and he does. And then he talked the talk, and then he literally walked the walk.
Yes.
The 3 miles of a walk that he had to do. The new laws, they preserve like gender markers on vital records, expand access to hormone therapy, and strengthen patient privacy protections for transgender Illinoisans. Also, I don't know. Well, you don't really you're not a big podcasty.
Yeah, I do. I listen to several podcasts.
Do you know? That's changed.
No, I have for a while. But
okay. Well, we haven't really done that
talked
for
about
a couple of years, I think. But I've been getting a lot because there are commercials, in there. But lately, I've been getting one commercial keeps popping up about Illinois' commitment to healthcare equity when it comes to our trans community. And I forget the organization, which is horrible. Probably shouldn't have brought it up. But but I'm like,
the gist of it,
you're popping? That's cool, because usually it's like I get weird things that pop up. Anyway, I don't know. It was just like a really, really big thing that was. It felt meaningful.
Yeah.
It was really meaningful and purposeful, and it was great to see Tracy Bain wearing something other than black.
Yeah.
She's always
back of the car.
And she was in the car, and she was just beaming with her wife, and to watch, Mona Noriega, and oh my gosh, why did my brain just go away? And Mona and
I can't remember either.
Oh,
sorry.
shoot. It just disappeared. Anyway, but it was just wonderful to see everybody literally marching for equality. And I want to thank, this does take a village, and I want to once again thank all of our sponsors, Berman Kia and Berman Subaru, Chicago Community Acupuncture, Social Change, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Rep Shy, Pride Coffee Roasters, Illinois Vets for Change, Center on Halstead, and SAG-AFTRA. And of course, we would be nothing without the incredible WCPT team to pull off this Herculean effort. It was led by Devin Tingle and Matt Cummings. AJ Bautista was our engineer, and Paul Chavari. He's still back there. He's waving if you can kind of see through the reflection. Was in the studio, and thank you, because I know it is a very hard. It is not an easy job, and you make it look super duper easy.
Yvette Cardona.
Thank you, Yvette Cardona. That's what my brain just
Yvette
stopped. Yes. There we are. So again, thank you for tuning in to the Pride Parade. It was a really, really amazing moment. To kick off a week that's rather complicated and everything. But then you went the next night.
Yes,
You went-
I went to see Ice Boy at the Goodman opening night. Or the completely untrue story of how Eugene O'Neill came to write The Iceman Cometh.
Yes.
It of course has Nick Offerman and Megan Mullally in it. Big star power, big comedy power. The show is
Cedric Yarborough from
Cedric
Reno
Yarborough,
911.
yes, and he got an ovation when he came out. Silly as it can be,
Fabulous.
very funny. It's a great vehicle for them. You know, if we could use silly right now, right? I mean, it's funny. It doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is
Wonderful.
crazy, but it's fun. The crowd loved it. The critics loved it.
Yeah, Megan Mullally plays a Broadway star, right? Or is it a radio star? Some sort of celebrity.
Some sort of. I think she was a Broadway star.
Broadway star. And then she ends up getting this
She
ice.
buys this frozen caveman kind of guy that's frozen in ice, but it thaws out and he comes out and she calls him Ice Boy, and she's got her voice, Ice Boy.
Yeah, and tale as old as time.
And
that story that they've told over and over again.
And he comes out of it. Literally, they have a block of simulated ice with a caveman in it for the first 10 minutes of the show, and then it goes down and he comes out of it and he's like got a beard and then they clean him up and it's crazy.
It's just silly.
It's absolutely silly. There's they break the fourth wall a little bit there, and Nick does. He's kind of the narrator. He's the Eugene O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun and it's great to see them. It's a funny vehicle to see them in. So if you're looking for something light, funny, with great actors, great comedians, I highly recommend it.
And fun music is what I hear too.
Yeah, the music's there's some songs in it.
Yeah. And Akira Fromm, who's going to be joining us, she was the associate director on that.
I learned that from the notes.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's very
Talk a little
exciting.
Ice Boy too, but it's.
So 2 thumbs up enthusiastically.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh no. All right,
It's
this
so
is one
silly.
and a half
I
thumbs.
am a little. It's silliest. I'm always looking for a little reality in things.
No.
I'm bad that way, Kathy. I cannot suspend
Disbelief.
sometimes.
Okay, see now.
I'm bad like that. What can I say?
You're the problem.
I am the problem.
You're the problem.
But it's fun, it's funny, and they're great. So it's 2 great actors in a very silly show.
Good, because again, like we need silly.
We need
to
silly.
go turn
We
off
need
your brain.
levity.
Look, I've said this over and over again. People like comedy because it makes you feel good. Laughing is great. It releases all the serotonin and all the little good things, and it's a good release, and it's fabulous and wonderful. But not everybody can do it.
Not everybody
can do it. It's dying is easy, comedy is hard.
You're right.
That's the whole thing. And to fully commit to a completely ridiculous premise and to see it all the way through to the end, I think is very underappreciated.
And they did see it. It was all of that. One of my friends who is an actor who is in many Goodman shows, I'm not going to say their name, at intermission, he's shaking his head. I'm like, so there's certain serious actors that didn't find it, but what are you going to do? I mean, it's not
Shut up, serious actors.
Shut up, serious actors.
Shut up. Again,
But
that's the whole thing that drives me kooky pants, because people get into this whole mindset that if it doesn't hurt, it's not art.
Well, true.
You know, and
That's usually what the premise is.
that's what it is. If it doesn't hurt, it's not art.
Yeah.
But it's like, but these people are doing things you can't do, Mr.
yeah.
Serious Actor.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go up and be silly. You can't go and make it a crowd laugh. You know, like that's the thing. And it's like sometimes people like the snobbishness around stuff gets me a little kooky pants, which is why I'm going to challenge everybody to go to see Stop That Train as well.
you love
Because
that.
that movie, talk about stupid with 4 O's. It is stupid and so funny and so much fun to go see like with a group of friends is what I'm saying. But yeah, but there's something about we need silly right now because
We need all the levity we can get.
the craziness that is running up, like running amok in DC is like, ugh. We also need good news. Here's some good news too. I
Yeah.
became a grandma again.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, Margaret Rose.
Beautiful
and
baby.
She's so pretty.
very pretty.
Her little cupid mouth.
Yeah, her little mouth, and I saw the picture.
I know. I'm like sending Ellen pictures and going like, I'm a
very-
grandma.
She's very cute.
She's very cute. She came into the world on July 1st. Mom and baby are doing great. My sister is with them right now,
Good. She's
being
good.
being Damo, because that's what
Yeah.
they call her instead of grandma. They call her Damo.
Is that a family word?
No, they couldn't say grandma, so Damo.
Damo.
Yeah, there's Damo, and then
It's
there's
now a family word.
it's Damo and Church Damo. My sister's Church Damo because she's a priest.
Okay.
So, and the other grandma's Damo.
Damo.
So yeah, so she's there to help out for the first week. She's going to take the other 2 kids because she's got 3 kids under 5 now. What?
That
What?
was my mom.
What?
3 under 5
Oh,
and 4 under 6.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Is it any wonder I didn't want to have kids?
Right? There you go.
I was the eldest watching this insanity.
But she's scooping up the kids to take them back to Iowa for a couple
let's give
weeks,
them a
for like a
break.
week.
Give the new mama a
give new mom a
break.
break, and everybody just kind of like said that. So congratulations. My heart is just overflowing
So that's
with
4
joy
for you now?
and love. Yes, I've got 4 grandbabies. I know they're great nieces and nephews, but that's just
I hope
there's
to
no
have,
word.
I hope I am so lucky as you are to have some great nieces and nephews someday. You
Yes.
never know.
Yes.
You never know.
Yes. Yes, but so on that note, we should probably take a break because we've flown past that.
Oh, yeah.
But before we do that, this part about Chicago is brought to you by Team Hochberg. Looking to purchase a home or refinance your existing home? Call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender with nearly 800 5-star Google reviews, like this one from Chuck. My wife and I were looking to purchase a condo to be near our grandchildren and weren't sure where to begin. So we contacted Team Hochberg, who did an excellent job. David Hochberg was a breath of fresh air, no baloney, and very transparent, which was refreshing. He knows his stuff like the back of his hand. No gimmicks, no BS. Thank you, David. Let's review. Chuck and his wife wanted to move closer to their grandchildren, so they contacted Team Hochberg. David answered their questions and helped them purchase a condo near the people they love most, their grandkids. If you want the same outstanding service Chuck, his wife, and thousands of WCPT listeners received, call Team Hochberg at 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That is 855-563-2843 or visit that website you know and love, 56david.com. ACM Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 643114. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, there is more Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Hi, this is Renee Taylor. You're listening to Out Chicago, WCPT 820.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller on this rainy, drizzly kind of gray day.
Once the holiday weekend's over, the weather's going to get really nice.
Of course. That's how it works with every single one of my days off.
Yeah.
Like, it is beautiful when I have to be inside.
No, it's
And then, There we go.
Well,
But
yeah.
anyway, but then if you're inside, you can listen to Out Chicago. And tomorrow morning, if it's kind of gross, you make sure you tune in to Choose Views, because tomorrow, Monday, Richard Choose guests are Abbas Alaweyi, 2026 candidate for Michigan State Senate, Rick Tivers, clinical social worker and therapist based in Evanston, Illinois, and Mike Nellis, Democratic strategist and host of Endless Urgency with Mike Nellis. Choose Views weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, so you know how I love my plants. I love my plants. I love my patio.
Yes, you do.
It's wonderful. I do.
More than your panties.
More than my panties. Yes, we'll go with that. We will. Yes, I was debating because I do love my panties a lot. I love my space.
Yes.
So we finally.
But not MySpace.
No. My.
I know what you mean.
I know. No one's been. Is that even around? Can is he?
When I see
anything?
somebody's profile and MySpace is on there, I quickly click
You're
away.
like, we don't need you. We don't need you. Catch up. I'm the grandma. I don't even have a MySpace. Come on. What's going on there?
Your
But
patio.
so we've got this. There's like apparently there's some like common plots that we're not allowed to touch, but we got the go ahead from like one of the guys on the board.
Oh, good.
To go ahead and do it. So like all I wanted was to put things on the ground, you know. Again, another metaphor. Put things in the ground, establish roots, let things come back, blah, 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 blah. And so I was doing this the day before the Pride Parade. I'm like, it's going to get hot the next week, so let's get this stuff going. And, you know, I literally spent hours. It took me 2 hours just to, like, dig up all the ground and everything. But, like, I had stuff that, like, oh, these are actually perennials that I had in pots. Well, I'll put you into the ground. We'll do this. I kind of made it really, like, I made it nice. You know,
Yes.
I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, that's
I made it real nice. And then Jerry was like, we have these like river stones that are, you know, they're flat, they're large, they're smooth. And he's like, well, of course, he's Southerner and he's got the gay decorating
Is
gene.
that similar to flagstone, riverstone?
No, it's like, you know, they're rocks. They're just rocks that are, you know, they're usually like long and they're flatter, but they're just smooth from being
Yeah.
in a river.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you a picture.
Isn't flagstone sort of flat?
Flagstone's more like flat, but it's like flat and like craggy and has
Right,
more of
right,
like,
exactly.
This is just
Okay.
like really, it's just as smooth like it's been
In a river,
in
in
the
the
river,
water.
and it got
Is that where they get it?
yes.
They have to fish it out. That's got to
They
be
have to fish it out.
expensive.
So that's what it looks like. There's a mellow picture. We want to see it. So as we were kind of putting on the final touches, you know, he likes to put arranging some rocks, and we have these river rocks, but one I totally forgot had the word courage that's engraved into it, and we thought, well, that's funny because like as you're coming into this house, like good luck, you got two bitchy queens living here.
You need your
You need your
courage.
courage. But it really made me think like, oh, this is a great message as we are moving through this
This
horrible administration
period of our
time.
world,
But like
our
there was
country.
something great about, you know, my neighbor Brooke who walks by there and, you know, who had a thing about being in parades because there was some anxiety about
Yeah.
it. It's like courage and like getting ready to do the parade. You know, there's still a little bit of, even when we've been doing it for 13 years, 14 for you, there's still something a little in the past couple of years has always been, oh, is something going to happen because of these very, very charged times. I think
Yes.
courage is a really, really
I
great
think it's a
thing
great word.
to kind of have. And I think as we went into the fourth, which again is very complicated for people. If you, we would love to hear from you. Give us a call, 773-763-9278, or you can text us
us
if you
what
don't
you're
feel like,
feeling about
yeah,
it.
tell us like, how did you actually sit down and like take a moment and think about why, you know, everybody had Friday off? Like that's one of the things I think people that maybe it's just because I'm getting older or maybe because it's just the kind of the line of work that we are in. But like, I'm really trying to take stock about, okay, so what is Independence Day? What is it all about? And it's a weird time right now to be celebrating the 200 250th anniversary
It should be a huge celebration, really.
No More Kings.
Yeah, No More
The
Kings.
Schoolhouse Rock song, No More Kings, was in my head all day yesterday about like, this is why we did this. The King of England, they were doing a lot of bad things to us. And we said, no, and we don't want that. And it's very, very odd to be celebrating that during this regime. Also, James Baldwin popped into my head yesterday about I love America more than any other country in the world, and exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. And that, to me, I think is the key. Last night it was our queer family. It was just our gay immediates. And I had posted a question to them. I'm like, all right, pose a question. Like, so what are you most happy? What are you most not, I guess not happy. What are you most proud about in the ideals of America? And they all said freedom of speech. The fact that we are still able to criticize our government, the fact that we are still able to speak out when we see injustice, that we're able to express ourselves freely. That has been like that is a huge thing. Even yesterday with the ding-dongs, those white supremacists, which, by the way, Laura Ingraham, later that day, was like tweeting out how like these are Antifa people dressed up in costumes.
Unbelievable.
The entire right is saying like oh, these are they're all members of SAG-AFTRA because this is not really, was it Patriot Front? Was that what?
Patriot
Front. It's like, okay, like they should not be wearing masks. Great, neither should ICE.
Yeah.
It was a very strange moment.
It was, and even other conservatives said, "Give me a break, Laura. Come on."
I know, it's like, what?
Well, the lengths they'll go to deny the reality and the truth from Fox News is just, we know they just are not in the same universe, or they pretend not to be. You talked about free speech. I was watching the CBS Sunday morning show, as I do before the show when I can, and they did a piece about Stars and Stripes, which is the military newspaper for people. And one of the editors got fired because they are trying to censor what they write on Stars and Stripes, the government. And she wrote a thing about Pete Hegseth, and she promptly got fired about it.
Wow.
And she's fighting it. But, I was kind of getting ready.
I'm surprised that you saw that on CBS.
Yeah, it was on CBS.
I mean, because there's one. Because if you want to see BS, turn to CBS News.
Because obviously free speech is not a guarantee right now for certain outlets, Trump does not feel that he should be able to be criticized. And part of democracy is criticizing the president, being able to take him to task if you don't agree. That's what democracy is all about. But in his world, if you don't agree with him, you'll be vilified. You'll be indicted. You will be,
lose your job. You'll
lose your job.
Like you'll be, and part of it too is like all of these attacks that he usually makes on the free press and on media. Either the media companies cave and they give money, like CBS did, or ABC, or even when they go and they attack other people's. He knows that the lawsuits that he's taking against them won't stick. The point is the lawsuit to challenge to besmirch their character or to raise question about like who they are. It's
rough times. I posted yesterday a happy 250th America. Let's stay focused on taking our country back from the grifters and fascists that are currently running the show. Those of us paying attention and fighting the good fight to maintain democracy are the true patriots.
Yeah.
And I followed it with the opening of the Declaration of Independence. So, we have to. It's our right to continue to fight hard against the regime that we are faced with right now.
Yeah, and we have to.
We have to.
We have to, which is why courage every day is important. And again, let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Steve in Chicago. Welcome. You're on Out Chicago.
Hello. I just wanted to chime in on the whole Independence Day, patriotism, et cetera, et cetera. So I live in a small 6-unit condo building. We've all pretty much always been center to left of center. And one of the things we periodically discuss is we're one of the few buildings in our neighborhood that shows an American flag.
Yeah.
And we've debated about it. And I keep saying we are not going to cede patriotism and love of this country to the Republicans. That's why the last couple of weeks I've been wearing an American flag pin, a pride pin, and a political pin.
Yes.
And even just that aside, depending on where you are, like last week I went door knocking in Michigan, and the woman that organized it said, "Why aren't you wearing a pride pin or a political pin?" I was like, because I'm a 60-year-old white man with short hair. I'm going to put on my Conagra hat. I'm going to put on my American pin, and I'm going to get people to open doors, and I'm going to be able to talk to them because they're not going to realize that I'm a lefty until I've won their trust and they're comfortable. And I can talk to them, and I can maybe hopefully convince them.
Steve, that makes me feel so great. Can I tell you, there's also a documentary that I don't know if you've seen it. It's on YouTube. It's called Reclaim the Flag. And it is a short, it's about a 20-minute, I think a 30-minute documentary that it's interviewing folks from the LGBTQ community, like all across the community. And they sit down tell them and they give them a flag and say, what does this mean to you? And it's really eye-opening because I agree with you. Like the right does,
they don't own it.
They don't get exclusive rights on patriotism. Again, as James Baldwin said, I love this country more than any other country in the world. And because of that, I get to criticize her perpetually. Yeah. And I think.
Well, didn't he also say, I love this country more than my country loves me?
Well, yeah, there's that too. There's that too.
Also, even in Facebook debates, because yes, I still do Facebook debates. I always make sure to use phrases like "our great nation," the principles our great nation was founded on. I am fighting for all Americans, because again, and I understand passion and I understand anger. Yes, there's so many times where I'm so angry at what this country has done, but if you put yourself in the position where they can just go, "Oh, well, you hate America, so da-da-da." I'm like, no, I love America. You hate America because you're not fighting for what it stands for.
That's right.
There we go, Steve.
Amen. Good to have you on with us, Steve.
Thank you for calling.
Thanks for calling.
You just A+ for that answer.
Call again.
Yeah, thank you.
I will. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the day.
Yeah, Kathy said, Ellen, I didn't know if you wanted me to put the flag up. I said, I have it up already. I put it up first thing in the morning.
Good.
I am not going to let them take that from us. Forget about it. It's my father was a lieutenant colonel in World War II. My grandfather fought in World War I. I'm not going to let them take the flag from me.
Yeah.
No way, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. And we are celebrating, commemorating a day where we wrote the biggest breakup letter in the history of the world. It's like, hey, girl, we're done. Sorry about that.
We're done with you.
But, it's so interesting because I did stop yesterday and I took time and I went back and I read it. I read it yesterday. And what's so odd, like the list of grievances that are in the Declaration of Independence against King George includes some that ring a little bit true today. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payments of their salaries.
That sounds familiar.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance.
What does that remind you of?
He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators.
What does that remind you of?
And he has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. When people talk about like the Constitution as a living document, the Declaration of Independence right now is a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
It is reminding us like this is what if you are so like, historically correct when it comes down to, I'm a constitutionalist, or let's go back to what the founding fathers' intent was. The intent is right here.
No
It's
question.
saying right here in this document that, look, these are our ideals. This is what you are doing to us. It is not fair. It does not lead to, these unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's a little straight. And like, that's what is so mind-boggling to me about folks who are the MAGA folks. I don't see, like, how do you not see this? How do you not see military occupation of our streets? There was a huge crackdown, like they're doing like a massive deportation thing, but not in big cities. They were going into smaller ones. We have friends who live in a small city in Mississippi. Later in their work, they had one career. They changed years ago to open like a free clinic just so that to provide health care to the folks around in the community, no charge. And it took off and people were coming, and there was a lot of immigrant population. And then they had to close down their clinic for a while because ICE kept coming. Mm-hmm. And, it was just like
so cruel.
It's so cruel. It's like, but so I don't know, friends. Like, again, these are really, really tricky times. Yes. And on this 250th anniversary, or the weekend of it, we have to remember that, like, yeah, James Baldwin, we get to criticize America perpetually because while we've gotten a lot of things right, we really have messed up a lot of things along the way. And hopefully, as we are growing in search of a more perfect union, we have made corrections. The plague, like the awful history of slavery in this country, of enslaved people, of human beings. I remember my sister, we were FaceTiming this weekend with, the new baby, and she was saying how the 5-year-old was saying, like, I forget how the topic came up because they were just watching a lot of, America things to just sort of like remind people of the country. And she was talking about slavery, and the 5-year-old was like, why would people do that? Like, was just gobsmacked. Yes. Like, I don't understand. It's like
the innocence of the child.
But it's also like, yeah, we get it. Like, yeah, it's a really complicated things. But yeah, that's where my brain is. Sorry, these are.
It is. And last year I was looking at what I posted last year. I was conflicted. We've been conflicted since he took office again. I'm sad that there wasn't even some sort of sensible Republican would have given us a more inclusive celebration of the 250th. But of course, we'll talk about it more. But this was just all about him and his grievance once again. It's just
cutting corners.
And
cutting corners. It's just tacky.
They're very tacky.
It was just tacky.
Very gold.
Very gold. Very tacky. Wait. So we're gonna take a break, but and thank you, Steve, for giving us a call. But again, if you have any thoughts out there about what you.
Yeah.
Did you just stop for a moment and just kind of reflect upon this? Are you reclaiming patriotism? Because that is not exclusively a right-wing thing. Nope. Give us a call or text us at 773-763-9278. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll get to your calls and texts on the other side. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT, Heartland Signal.
This is William Lindsay Cochran from the group Great Moments in Vinyl. You're listening to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, just rolling along here on a cloudy. It looked a little rainy out there when I went to go get some water, but We got this, but a great day to stay inside. And tomorrow on Live, Local, and Progressive, Joan Esposito will be talking to retired Army Major General Randy Manner, former acting vice chair of the National Guard Bureau and member of National Security Leaders for America, and Bobby Kogan, senior director of federal budget policy at the Center for American Progress. That's Live, Local, and Progressive, weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 AM, heartlandsignal.com, and TuneIn. So the big County State Fair.
What a concept.
Well, no, but it was a great concept. Like, that was the whole thing. Do you know what the original? You know, they've been working on this for a decade, right?
But he got rid of that group.
Yes, he got rid of that. It was under the auspices of America 250.
Yeah.
And the Smithsonian was playing a big part of it. And in their vision was this to be the festival of festivals. They were going to take all the regional festivals that happen. Like, I mean, we're talking, everything from the Grand Ole Opry to Lollapalooza to Coachella to whatever.
Yeah,
like
I didn't
all
know
the
the
ones that are
original
all
concept. I know they were working on
and they
a whole
were going to
different thing.
bring everything together.
Nice.
And take aspects of that so that it becomes like literally
unified whole-
the
the whole
festival
country.
of festivals, taking like having the best of, like, this is what the Grand Ole Opry does best, and this is why we're so great here, and this is what NASCAR does
Makes
so
sense.
great.
Very inclusive sounding.
Yeah, and like an inclusive, and they're like, and somebody who was fired from the project recently reported on how, like, and there were big names that had agreed to do this for free. And if you want to think about the names, she's like, just look at the list of all of these festivals. The people that would be headlining there were going to be here. Instead, we got this weird sort of the big great state fair. Is that the Great American State Fair? It sounds like that's a great name.
I mean, I love a state fair.
Who doesn't love a state fair? But they neglected to do anything that's fun about state fairs. Where were the funnel cakes?
Yeah.
Where was the butter cow? Where
was the fried butter?
Yeah, where the fried butter? Where's the fried Oreos? Like, where is all the stuff? And why did you cut so many corners? Why is there a tiny model of your weird arch that you want to build that didn't really quite touch the ground? It was put together with it looked
tacky.
like I would have been sad if that was one of the sets that I built for my high school actors when I was teaching. Because it also started growing yellow thing. I don't know. Like, it just seems.
It's very emblematic of him and his regime.
It was.
The whole
And
thing.
and it feels like across the board, everybody has been like, you robbed us.
Yeah.
Of a moment.
I feel that way too. I think a lot of Americans do.
Like, I barely remember the Spirit of 76 because I was 4 when it was happening. But which was, of course, the bicentennial, and it was a huge thing.
Yes, it was. It was a huge thing. I was in college, so I remember it well.
Like, I remember but I do remember, like, as a family going to, like, the Freedom Train, and the Spirit of 76 banners everywhere. I, of course, had one, like, in my room, but there just felt like
picture it now,
a different kind of
very
vibe.
Unified.
Yeah. Even though, and that was also at a time we were just getting out of, Vietnam.
Right.
With all that. You had Watergate that it just happened. You have, the people's right to choose. Like abortion was, there were big hot button issues that were stopping, and yet the country still came together.
Yes, they did.
And I don't know if that's because of messaging or if that's because of I just don't know. I think a lot of people, like I said before, were really kind of disappointed, but we also know to come to expect that from, like I say, the current people running the show. Well,
right now.
I think that's also a good reason. Like, that's the reason why nobody went.
Yeah.
There was nobody there.
Remember, 70% of Americans are not agreeing with what's going on right now. He's got like a 30-something%. Right? So that's a big number. 68%, 69%. That's a big number of Americans that are not happy with what's going on in this country right now.
Yeah.
And it was evident yesterday. I mean, it was attended, but it wasn't hugely attended. By the time he did his speech, apparently, most people had left. He insisted on doing it even with storms coming and heat and everything else because, as we know, it's just always about him.
It's just about him. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's. I don't know. It was.
I know it's a bittersweet. It was a bittersweet day, but we tried to make it as positive as we could.
Indeed. And as we're talking about, freedom and equality for all, they have yet to pass the Equality Act, which would guarantee protections, just regular, everyday protections for LGBTQ folks, like say. You can't be denied housing or health care or employment just because of who you are. We have those protections here in Chicago and in Illinois, but a lot of places don't. And of course, they like to use the trans community as the biggest specter next to communism.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, a trans communist would just.
Oh my gosh,
that's what's gonna happen this
the
fall.
Punching bag of.
It is horrible. we had SCOTUS come out against.
SCOTUS.
They upheld state bans on transgender girls and women competing in girls and women's school sports. A lot of Republican places were really, really happy about that. But again, so they make this gigantic decision. That affects, let's say like 200 people.
Yeah.
Let's say 200. Maybe a little. We'll go up to, let's say 2,000, just so we can do that. But it's like, it is the smallest number.
It is.
And they are treating the way the trans community is vilified.
The hate's on overdrive.
I know. And what they're doing is they're trying to systematically just chop people out of the culture. And part of what we need to do, where we need to find the courage as we are moving forward with this, is we got to make sure that we stand up. We take these values of like life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and really embody them, live their truths. When things like this happen, when people spew out misinformation about trans folks, we have got to stand up and be their ally and speak up.
Yes, we do.
That is the biggest thing that's going on here. In response to this Supreme Court ruling, the Trevor Project, which is the LGBTQ plus youth suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization, of course, they condemned the ruling and saying it would compound the harm transgender and non-binary young people already feel from anti-LGBTQ plus laws and political debates. The CEO of the Trevor Project, James Black, said the decision only serves to send a message to transgender and non-binary young people that says you don't belong, but these young people do belong. And that is where we, as allies, as members of the LGBTQ plus community, we need to make sure that we stand up that, again, we are the United States and that we all belong and that we all deserve a seat at the table.
All men and women are created equal.
All people
are created
equal.
That's the main tenet.
There we are.
Of independence.
So on that note, we are going to take a quick break. There's going to be some newsy kind of jibber-jabbery stuff happening. And then we're going to come back with the second hour of Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
Welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here along with Ellen Miller. Just rolling along, feeling all kinds of feels.
Yes.
Reclaiming patriotism.
We sure are.
Being super gay because, again, I'm going to quote Rent, because the opposite of war is in peace. It's creation. And we've got an artsy-fartsy second hour lined up for you. And also, just to let you know, too, if you haven't already, you can follow Heartland Signal on X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at Heartland Signal. That's all one word. And be sure to check out heartlandsignal.com for daily updates. And while you're there, check out Heartland Signal's free newsletter. Every week, Heartland Signal's senior political analyst, Aaron Kleinman, delivers Radio Free America, highlighting stories that matter in state politics but aren't getting enough attention. So subscribe today at heartlandsignal.com/newsletters. Okay, now we're going to be artsy fartsy. I'm very excited to have our first guest on here because this is one of my favorite shows of all time. It is summer, and you really should be spending a weekend in the country, or at least a couple of hours in Lincolnshire, as you enjoy Stephen Sondheim's musical masterpiece, A Little Night Music, that is now playing at Marriott Theater. And joining us now is one of the fabulous actors in the company of A Little Night Music, Alan H. Green. Alan, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. How is it going?
You know, we're just literally having a ball up here in old Lincolnshire at the Marriott. Little Night Music is kind of funny. It's one of the Sondheim shows that people either have never heard of it or it's their very favorite Sondheim show.
Girl, sorry, I have to interrupt. I'm like, ever since I found that you were going to be on the show, I'm like, a weekend in the country, how amusing, how delightfully droll. It's such.
Exactly.
One of the things that I love about this show is that it just feels so, it just feels grown up and sophisticated.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And of course, the people who've not heard of it, of course, they know the song "Send in the Clown." So then people say, "Oh, okay, I know that song." But I've been telling people that basically A Little Night Music is if characters from Bridgerton all ended up in a Big Brother house. Everybody trying to have sex and fall in love with the wrong people and not their partner. So it's like, the thing I like about it, there's a juxtaposition of like refinement and sophisticated, but then it's just truly messy.
It really, oh my gosh, that is the most perfect way to encapsulate the story, and it is based on an Ingmar Bergman film, so there's still some Tony stuff going on there. Yeah, can you expand upon what the actual story is as opposed to the perfect metaphor?
Well, basically, the linchpin of the story is a actress named Desiree Armfeldt, and the story opens up with her and her acting troupe kind of playing another town, and then she spots her old lover who is now married to this pretty young thing, but the pretty young thing hasn't had sex yet with the man Frederick, and so then Frederick goes and visits Desiree, and then they decide to rekindle an old flame. Mm-hmm. But then I play the man that she's Carl Magnus. That she's currently shacked up with, but she's my mistress. And then I show up and see her and Frederick, and I'm like, what's this man doing in my robe? So then I'm like, I think my mistress is having an affair. So then I go home and complain about it to my wife.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is like, it is a big, so it is so, and in addition to all of that, just drama, they're just like, the songs are just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, I have a late entrance in the show. I play a lot of antagonists, and we don't come until like page 40 or 50. But
yeah.
One of my favorite things to do is sneak into the audience and watch the opening song, which is Addie and Eldon and Andrew. It's called Soon Now Later. And it is just, they each have their own moment of later, soon now, and then they all come together, and it is just, it's like, how did this man write this? And then our orchestra, Brett Hawk has this harp patch and the keyboard, and it's just like floating. And it's like, I just enjoy getting to sit into the audience and watch the first 15 minutes of it. It's just I think it's one of the most glorious musical moments, like maybe in theater.
Well, but again, I think that runs through the entire show, because I can never remember what they're called. I always call them the Lederhosen, even though that's not what they're called.
The Liebeslieders.
Thank you. Yeah. But the Lederhosen. So there's like a chorus of nice Swedish people who kind of comment on the ad. They work as a Greek chorus almost, as a way to kind of let's set up the scene, let's move things around.
Yeah, that's right.
The entire
Joel Kelly. Yeah, Joel Kelly, Michael and Colette, they're this leader. And Nick Bowling has basically created this concept where they're part of Desiree's acting troupe. So they're a little bit more, and it's a great concept, I think, because I think sometimes people see productions and they're like, who are these four people and what are they doing?
And why are they over there?
Production, in our production, they kind of start out as Desiree's acting troupe, and then that kind of creates the concept of their presence and the need for their presence. And then throughout the scenes, they become, in my mind, like the church ladies from The Color Purple, like, ooh, girl, did you just see that? Like, what just happened? And what's about to go down? And they all have these glorious operatic voices, and they're the four of them are just fantastic together. And so, so that's the way we're using them, as you call the Lederhosen.
The Lederhosen.
And Alan, the music from Sondheim's music is, everybody says it can be very demanding. Is a little night music demanding and challenging for you? And if it is, how do you meet that challenge?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. So when I went to Rice University on a football scholarship to be a lawyer, and then I ended up switching over to the music school and got a classical vocal degree, and then this is for another podcast, but I got a contemporary Christian record deal. But then when I graduated and moved to Nashville for the record deal, the executives told me I had to be married to a woman in 6 months. So then I ended up on a cruise ship that then got me to New York. So that's how I ended up in this crazy field. But anyway, more specifically, about, like I said, that's another podcast. But for little night music, so my senior year at Rice University, like I said, I had been studying classically. I got a new voice teacher, and she said, why don't we work on some music that you actually might sing in the real world? And the first thing she gave me was the music of Carl Magnus. And so I learned it like 30 years ago. But the real tea is a lot of Black people have typically not been hired to sing Sondheim.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're in a new day. And I worked with Katie, the choreographer. We did Bat Boy at Encores in New York. And that's how we kind of met each other. And she was kind of the one who it was her idea to bring me on board. And so to answer your question, it's wonderfully difficult. It's wordy. There's a lot of alliteration and but it's like glorious at the same time, because even though it's like technically difficult, it's also easy for people to listen to and receive. And but and it's one of those things where it's like I've had the luck to create a lot of things in my career, and but when you're singing Sondheim, you just need to sing the notes the man wrote. There's no other, so you just stick to it, try to play the truth of it, whether you're in a dramatic moment or a comedic moment, if you just stick to the sincereness of what he's writing. And a lot of times, particularly as somebody who's sung a lot of contemporary musical, you don't want your voice to get in the way of it. Sometimes people can over-sing Sondheim and try to make it something, but it already is magical and perfect and sophisticated and special. So you kind of just have to get your spirit together to kind of just show up and sing the notes.
And of course, the Marriott is an in the round theater. How does performing these songs in the round affect or change your performance at all?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, first of all, at the Marriott, the good thing about it being in the round is that there's no bad seat, because you're not far away no matter what side you're on. And the sound design is really great. Michael Daly's done a great job of the sound design. So no matter where you sit, you kind of get a great view. And then I think it's fun for some people who already are like fans of the show. They want to come back and sit on the other side or sit, on the orchestra side. But as an actor, it's really kind of freeing, because you can actually just stand naturally and talk to somebody on stage like you would in real life and not have to turn like you would for proscenium. So it's kind of freeing. But then, there are no, if you think, oh, is my zipper down?
Right.
There's no way for you to turn around and check that. So, you kind of got to stay focused and stay concentrated. But I find it to be really freeing, because I feel like the acting can be more natural. Now, you also have to be mindful of okay, I've just faced one way for 60 seconds. Let me kind of turn
Turn
it
a little bit,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
People can see my face.
I would
Yeah.
imagine. Great. Thank you
it's
for that
fun.
answer.
So
Yep.
you play Carl Magnus, who is,
Yes.
as you said, kind of like the villain, because
Yeah.
And the shooting will be pleasant. The weather's
That's
not too
it.
rough. Happy
There it
birthday!
is.
It's a present. You haven't been getting out nearly enough in a week. I'm sorry. I told you I love this stupid show.
You can come on. If I get sick, you can come on in
I'm
and do
coming
it.
on. I'm coming, and then, but I also want to be Madame Arnfelt too, just like say, Fred, they mustn't see us squatting
that's
on the
right.
ground like bohemians.
That
yes.
Carmen Roman, that diva sitting in that wheelchair,
Yes.
just letting us have it. She's fantastic.
Liaisons. What happened to that? Sorry. Again, I love the show. But so as you are tackling the role of Carl Magnus, who is kind of like the baddie, I guess we want to call it that. Like, what is your take on this character?
Well, the thing about playing antagonists is that they don't think they're bad.
Right.
That's the main thing. And this is a man, I kind of joke that I think is in one of the first musical theater open marriages, except it's in his mind, it's only open to him.
Right.
Like, what? Well, of course, my wife wouldn't. Why would she cheat? Because she has me. So it's kind of an interesting idea. And then also I had to calibrate it, and this just is a little real talk of one of the few. Our show is very diverse, but discerning eye is not necessarily going to catch all of the diversity. So I also had to calibrate, like, oh, here comes the big black scary whatever kind of guy. So I had to calibrate that and just be respectful to that and mindful of that to make sure that there's no optics that are playing into one thing or another. And but it's kind of fun. So I feel like I've made him kind of goofy, but also very sincere. And he doesn't think that there's anything wrong with complaining to his wife about his mistress possibly sleeping with some other man.
I know.
That's just his truth. There's no comment on it. And then, of course, my partner in crime, Veronica Garza, who plays Charlotte, she's just basically all I have to do is stand there and look constipated, and she's just funny around me. She's just so damn funny.
Yeah, and then it leads her character and leads Charlotte to sing about every day a little death.
That's right. That's right.
Men
And
are
but in real
stupid,
talk,
men
I
are
think there are a lot of
vain.
people. There are a lot of people in like marriages like that. Whether it's that, out in the open. But there are a lot of people who love people who are not necessarily the most thoughtful or gracious or aware people. But again, people who are living in the world unaware, they don't know that they're unaware. So you'd like to think by the end of this play, as old Oprah likes to tell us, you know better, you do better.
Right.
So I'd like to think at the end of the play, the old Carl Magnus is like, oh, let me reconsider some of these ideas about my marriage. And I think the bigger, like, I think the whole idea of the show is like, are you with who you love, or are you with who you're supposed to be with? And I think whether you're single or booed up with somebody, I think that's kind of a universal thing. And I think, for those people who are with the person that they love and the person that they think they're supposed to be with, like, that's the magical, I think.
That's the magical combo
situation to be in.
Well, it was so interesting when you were talking about, as you are approaching this character and as you are approaching this as a black actor, how wonderful! There, you must have had discussions with the incredible director Nick Bowling,
Yes,
about these concerns. Like, what was it like working with him?
Nick is just wonderful.
Yeah.
So as a person, so like I said, for like 2 years ago is the first time I played a role in 16 years that I didn't help create.
Wow.
So for like 16 years, all I've been doing is creating. So as I was approaching this, I got my spirit together to be like, okay, Alan, you're going to get there. There's not a lot of time. They're going to say, come in here, do this, and exit here. I just had to get my spirit like, okay, this isn't about collaboration. Nobody's going to be asking you for your 17 genius ideas. You just need to do what they tell you to do. But then I got there and I realized early on that Nick definitely had a plan, but he also would start a lot of rehearsals with the old, well, let's kind of just see what happens. So he could like see what our instincts were. And so, but also he was very prepared. So in my mind, it was a wonderful way to work where it was like, okay, he's going to watch me do what I feel compelled to do, but then he's going to have ideas. And I'll also say his notes were very much like given as suggestions. Like, why don't you try this? Or maybe try this. And then he was also very much like, oh, I've got an idea. And then he'd be the first one to be like, okay, that's not the most successful idea. Let's maybe try something else. So Nick was just fun and smart and collaborative. And I just had a great time working with him and Katie.
Alan, is there a Sondheim role that's on your bucket list you still like to play?
You know, it's interesting. So again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but because I've created so much stuff, I'm always trying to get the things that I've done to come to New York. That's what's more exciting to me than like, oh, what's some role I can do. But I will say that when I was at Rice University, there was a student. The students did the musicals because the opera studio just did classical stuff. And my first experience with the musical was Into the Woods. And a friend of mine who was at the music school was like, "You should audition. You'll get the Prince. You'll have these great like 1.5 songs, and it'll be great." Well, then the girl cast me as the baker. And so, which was some of the like theater nerds. And of course, this was 30 years ago. And like I said, at that time, not many Black people really were being asked to sing Sondheim. There was a little scuttlebutt. And I asked my friend, I was like, well, why are some of these like Rice theater nerds upset that I'm the baker? And he was like, well, this big, tall football playing Black dude isn't truly who the baker typically would be and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm about to do this. So I just had a ball. That was my introduction. And so my long-winded ass point is, if I ever had the opportunity to do the baker in a professional production of Into the Woods, that would be very interesting to me to now do that as like a grown-ass man who's had some life experience.
I love it.
There we go.
But full circle, like a Little Night Music. I'm familiar with it.
Perfect.
Well, in the meantime, please, I hope you enjoy your time being letting the wonderful music of Stephen Sondheim wash over you with a Little Night Music. It's now playing at Marriott Theater through August 9th. I'm telling you, it is it is really, truly one of my most favorite shows. The music is interesting and complicated and yet accessible, as you were saying, Alan. And it really does. It's just unabashedly romantic.
And I will also just add, let me add real quick that as we were preparing it, I kind of thought, oh, is this like a ha opera laughs kind of show? I really wasn't sure. This thing is hysterical.
It's funny.
And people are cracking up. And yes, there's some sophistication to it, but everybody loves when some tea gets spilled.
Oh,
and there's a lot of that happening.
Look at Charlotte.
And so everybody can, exactly. So we're just having a great time. And the thing about it too, I think one of the reasons the audiences are having so much fun is that we're having so much fun. I mean, Andrew Simonsky and Al Silber are kind of leading the way, and then the locals, Eldon and Madison, or kind of knew these are their first big jobs, Henrik and Petra, and they're just giving phenomenal performances, but these are kind of their first big jobs. So it's also a good mix of like those of us who've been around,
right?
And the audience feels that.
Well, and I think it's a perfect show to be doing all this, with all the different types of folks. And I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this. Again, take a weekend in the country. Or at least spend a couple of hours.
Or a weekday.
Yes.
Or a weekday.
Yes.
Or just a couple of hours. Head on over to Marriott Theater to go see A Little Night Music. For tickets, go to MarriottTheater.com, and that is theater spelled with an R-E because they are fancy that way. Alan H. Green, thank you so much. And we would love to have you back on the show to talk about your journey. Because it sounds...
Yeah, that's, like I said, darling, that's a whole other podcast.
All right. Well, we would love to have you back whenever you'd like. Enjoy. Have a great show today. You've got a show, right?
Thank you so much. We have two today, show 1 and 5.
Thanks for being on with us
thank you
today.
for coming on there.
Now.
Go get ready for half hour.
Break a leg.
Break all the legs. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be speaking with director Kira Fromm, whose smash hit musical Octet is now moving to the Goodman Theater. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Hey, this is Kathy Richardson, America's sweetheart from Jefferson Starship, and you're listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, rolling along. And tomorrow, Monday, on Driving It Home, Patty Vasquez will be civic media political editor, and founding editor of the Recombobulation Area in Wisconsin, and Jess McIlvaine, executive director of Plainfield Pride. That's Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And now, right now, more artsy stuff, which makes me so... Look, Raven Theaters, they had a smash hit with Octet. It's an a cappella musical about the impact of life online, and it is moving downtown to the Goodman Theater for a limited run. And joining us now is director Kira Fromm. Kira, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much. Hi, folks. Hi, Scott. How are you doing?
Oh, my gosh, girl. I'm so excited for you. When I got this press release that Octet was moving to the Goodman, I just like, yes. So congratulations.
You and me both. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Now, this was like Raven Theater's first musical ever, right? Like,
That's true.
How did this show come to you?
Well, I had seen the original production 7 years ago in New York City, a beautiful production of Dave Malloy's musical directed by Annie Tipp in 2019 at the Signature Theater in New York City off Broadway. And it was just a really captivating a cappella musical, which is sort of a unicorn of a phrase right there. Because, as I think you know, musicals aren't really my forte, but I saw it and I laughed, I cried, I was incredibly compelled, and I walked out of the theater and I just found myself dreaming on it, thinking about it, and just feeling like I have to find a way to direct this show at some point. And I live by the Raven Theater, and the Raven sort of has this sort of like built-in sort of support group environment about it anyway, like a sort of natural sort of setting of this show. And I pitched it to the former artistic director, Sarah Slight, and we sort of both sort of found ourselves kindred spirits about what an incredible show it was. And it was a 3-year-long period of trying to get the rights. And here we are. We got the rights. And now we're on this incredible ride with it.
So, Kira, tell us a little bit about the story itself. I know it's about the impact of life online, but how does it come through?
Yeah, I mean, so Octet is a musical about loneliness and the isolating experience of our internet addictions, and really how these 8 people who are the subjects of the show, how these 8 lost people become less lost by the end of the night as a result of putting down their screens and connecting with one another. It's really a profound reminder of how desperately we need community and connection, and really a true testament to the power of the human voice.
1,000%. Like the fact that it's a cappella as well. It's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
no.
There's no way to really like adequately water cooler pitch the show without people thinking like, oh, is it Pitch Perfect, the musical? It is not that. It's really like, like I was saying, everybody has their own sort of unique relationship to the internet. And each of these 8 people have very different addictions to the internet. And we slowly, one by one, over the 100 minutes of the show, sort of learn about each of their digital obsessions, and they sort of communally work through them over the course of the show. And it's a really compelling experience. And I don't think you can not see yourself in the show, or see your spouse, or see your friends, or see the community at large, and how we're all sort of struggling to put down our phones.
It's a big mirror, I'm sure, that you're putting in front of people's faces.
Yeah, Yeah, it really is. But it's also, I think there's this sort of trap of feeling like, oh, that feels dark and dense, and I don't really want to see myself in that light. But it's also incredibly funny.
Yeah.
Dave Malloy, who is the composer and the writer of the show, has a really funny sense of humor about his own relationship to the internet, and therefore that has worked itself into the script and the score as well. And it's very funny, and you will find yourself laughing at yourself and your friends, and you will walk out of the show feeling like, I want to throw my phone into the sea.
Right. Yeah. So, like, as you are, because this is so relatable, like you're saying, this is something that we all try to navigate, our relationship with phones and internet. How did you all approach that in the rehearsal process? I mean, because what was the rehearsal process like as we were exploring this when the show Octet?
Yeah, well, we have a really incredible team of people, starting with an outstanding music director, Nick Sula, and a really fantastic choreographer, Laura Savage. And then we have this really virtuosic ensemble of 8 actors who are really just at the top of their game. And we sort of got into the text and the songs and sort of decided to really figure out what felt the most kinetic and exciting in terms of really sort of delving into the problems that these people put out on offer in each of these songs. And with Nick's guidance and with Laura's shaping of the songs, we found something that felt both joyful and true, and that is the shape of the show.
So you're moving from the Raven to the Goodman. How does that feel to the creative team and to the cast, making that transition?
That's a good question. We're going to go in there on Wednesday, and we'll have a fuller answer to that question then. But what I will tell you is it's incredibly exciting and a little daunting, only because the Raven is about 125 seats in our current setup, and the Owen Theater at the Goodman is about 3 times that.
Yeah.
So it's significantly larger. But what I will say, and I'm sure you both have been in that theater as well, it's a very intimate, it is a weirdly intimate setting, despite the fact that, as I said, it's 300 plus seats in there. We're going to be able to retain our sort of thrust configuration, which a thrust configuration is like audience on 3 sides. And that sort of inherently makes it feel cozy and makes the audience feel like they're close and have access to the stage and to the performers. And really that extra size is really upward. Like there's a ton of height in the Owen Theater at the Goodman, and there's no height at all at the Raven.
Right.
So
That's putting
it's
it
a little
mildly.
more. Yeah, it's a very compressed experience at the Raven, which worked to our benefit in terms of the intensity of the experiences that these people are having. But I think we'll be able to replicate that with light and sound and, of course, just the stories that these people are telling over at the Owen. But we're going to really try to retain all of that intimacy and all of the exciting specialness that we found in our original staging, and really just try to, plop it into the Owen and re-find all of that excitement in a limited amount of time. We've got about a week of rehearsal and tech, and then we'll be opening it up over at the Goodman on July 15th.
And I'll be there.
I know, it's very exciting.
I can't wait to see it.
Thrilling, exciting.
I tried to get in. I couldn't get into the Raven. It just was too tight. It was sold out, and you did a great job. So I was so thrilled to hear that we all have another chance here in the Chicago area to see it again. Yeah.
And
well, that's not usually a problem we have, not having access to the tickets, but one that I'm really excited about being the case.
Yes,
100%. So, but I'm sure, like, as you are transferring into like a larger space, you're going to be like, your cast is top notch, of course, and you've got your team behind you and your incredible eye. The thing that always just freaks me out, like, okay, and this is just my own stuff. Maybe I should journal about this. But like an a cappella musical. What happens if someone goes off pitch? Like that's the whole thing. I'm like, how do they do?
Can't
how
cover
do they
up
do
like
that?
with an orchestra.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not going to spoiler alert anything on this show right now, so you're going to have to come and see it.
Okay.
July 15th through August 2nd. But what I will say is, because of just the high execution level, as you just said, Scott, our audition process was really intense. We had to make sure that we were finding people who, above all else, were really incredibly rigorous musicians. Like that had to be the top criteria, and that was a really sort of surprising component of the audition process, because you have to be able to hold your singing line against 7 other singing lines that are very different from the thing that you're singing, which is incredibly challenging. I could never do that. Thank God I'm not an actor. But that made the audition process one of the most unique audition processes I've ever been involved with in the 20 years I've been doing this thing. So that's exciting and daunting.
So, you said you never directed a musical before. What did you learn about yourself from directing this?
Well, it's very validating. I think, there was a reason I walked out of that show having any sense that, like, I could direct a show like this. I mean, there was some part of me that felt like to even have a passing thought like I'm going to direct this show at some point was very edifying. I think as artists, we all sort of have to have this inner credo, which is, we have to follow our bliss, and that tends to yield incredibly satisfying artistic projects. And, there's a reason that we carry tiny embers for artistic projects that bring us joy and excitement. And I think at the end of the day, we're all storytellers, and we have to go in with confidence and joy and believe that we're going to be able to transfer that love and joy to our collaborators and bring along the right artistic thought partners like music directors and choreographers and actors who are really specialists in their field to really make the thing fly. And I really had incredibly experienced collaborators on this project who were really excited to say, hey, I love doing this thing and I can't wait to transfer that experience over to you as well. So they were very generous, and I'm grateful for that. And, I say that like a little hyperbolically, like, true, I haven't directed a full-on musical before, but so much of my experience is what I like to call musical adjacent. Yeah. A lot of my shows have very musical transitions or feature like one number smack dab in the middle that is a big musical interlude, but they're not sort of what I would call traditional musicals in the way that this show, while not traditional, it is a musical. It is sung through, and it is known as a musical. And now maybe I'll direct more musicals in the future. Who knows?
You've obviously met and excelled at the challenge, as evident here by the fact that
it's my joy.
And let me tell you, and you are correct with like lifting up your artistic partners, Sula. Stop it. Like just musical genius. The choreographers, look, I do have a very soft spot for one of your cast members, Sam Shankman. Jerry and I have known him since he was 14 in Memphis. So, I mean, just a little head baby. He's so just a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Sam is a treat. And, I mean, they all are such musical theater nerds. They love this show with such intensity. And I'll tell you, that love of the show just really leaks off of the stage. You can tell how much they love the material and how much they love each other. And that kind of passion is really is such a underrated component of any show you're involved in. And I think it's just such a great gift that audiences get to be a part of when you get to witness a piece of art that you can tell that the creatives were just sort of obsessed with. And this whole team has really been really obsessed with the show in all the good ways.
Yeah. Well, so what sort of, when people do get to go see Octet, Raven Theater's production at the Owen Theater, the Goodman, coming up
the 15th.
On the 15th. July 15th. Sorry, my brain just froze for a second. What sort of conversations do you hope it sparks as people leave, aside from we're all going to run to the river and just throw our phones in there. You know?
Yeah.
Or is that it?
Yeah.
That might be great. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all recognize that that's probably not realistic. We
Right,
all
yes,
have
yes.
to have, we all have to be pragmatic and understand that technology is here to stay, and we have to come to terms with that. But I do think that something that the musical does pretty successfully is sort of like encourage us in a gentle way, because Dave Malloy, the composer and the creator of the show, that doesn't vilify anyone for these addictions, because it, as I said, has sort of seeped its way into our everyday existence. But I think the experience of the show does sort of encourage us in a lovely way to have to start generating a healthier relationship to our technology, and remind us that connection and community is essential to our mental health.
Absolutely.
Because these 8 people who are the centerpiece of the show, leave the experience of the show less lonely than they did when they started the show. And that's the direct result of putting down their phones for the hour and 40 minutes of the experience of the show. And that is the direct result of putting their technology down. And I think we can take that with us as we walk out of the show and say, I can put my phone down for the evening or the morning or the afternoon,
It's
or
freeing.
I'm going to go. Yeah, it's a liberating experience. And if they can do it, and their stories are, some of them are buoyant, but some of them are pretty dark. And if they can do it, I can do it.
There you go.
And that's very freeing.
Preach on.
Yes,
Preach
girl.
on, my sister. Oh, and also, we do have to give you a quick little shout out. You happen to be the associate director on a little tiny musical that also was at the Goodman. Called Ice Boy. Congratulations on all of that
thanks.
success. Look, you do direct musicals. You do.
Yeah, right there, 2 in a
This is
row.
my musical. This is my musical summer. That's
As
been super
all
fun to be.
summers should. They should be filled with joy and
I
music.
mean, that show is quite different from
Yes.
Octet. I mean, that is
Yes.
a big, broad farce
Look.
featuring the incredibly funny Megan Mullally and Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Everybody should go and see it. It couldn't be more different than Octet, but that's been a super blast to be a
Look,
part of.
and that
Perfect.
shows your range
That's
as a
right.
director.
That's right.
So there we go. That's what I just want to say, Kira Fromm, who I just admire like nobody's business. Look,
you're too
y'all,
kind.
everybody needs to head downtown. Maybe leave your phone at home, unless your tickets are on there. Then you might need that. But hey, don't miss Raven Theater's smash hit Octet in a limited run at the Goodman Theater. Opens June 15th through August 2nd. You can find out more information and get tickets at goodmantheater.org. And a reminder, theaters with an R-E because they are fancy that way. Director Kira Fromm, congratulations on all of your success. Break legs as you rediscover this beautiful play, this beautiful musical, because you are a director of musicals. And as you are all in the same room together, bringing this group of storytellers to tell this story. And enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been so nice to talk to you, Scott and Ellen. Come on out to see Octet, you two. I want to see you both.
I'll be there. I'll be there on the 15th, Kira. I'll look for you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right.
Take care.
Take care. Thank you so
And
much.
break legs.
Yes.
And we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments about Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Hi, I'm Spencer Tweedy, and you're listening to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Hey, welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller. Hey, just to remind you, the show is also available in podcast form. So if you want to check it out a little bit later on, you can always head over to heartlandsignal.com/podcast, and you can do that. Or you can ask to your little smart speaker or whatever. I'm thinking about taking my smart speaker out.
Don't tell me you think it's eavesdropping on you.
Yes. Why do you think it's not?
Because I don't think it is.
Okay. How does it? How does it?
Discussion last night at the 4th of July dinner.
How does it answer? How do you activate your smart speaker?
Hey Google.
Yeah. Okay. And so what is it doing until then?
It's just sitting there waiting to hear when you call.
What?
But if you do not say, hey, Google, it won't respond.
But how does it know that those are the words that you were saying if it isn't listening to everything else?
Because it activates upon hearing the word Google.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Just saying. Mine is starting to talk back to us. Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying stuff.
And all of a sudden it'd be like, blah. I'm like, we did not say, and we did not call upon you. We did not invoke you.
And you have Alexa, the Alexa.
Yeah. Now everyone's smart speakers are going off because you said it and just said the goo-goo.
The goo-goo.
The goo-goo. But anyway, I'm thinking about getting mine out.
All right.
I don't know.
I yell at mine all day. What's the temperature out? What's the score of this? I just constantly ask questions.
Oh,
all
I know.
day.
No,
I
I
love
get
having.
it.
I wish when I traveled I had one with me.
You do in your phone.
The Siri.
Yeah, you can just ask the same
Siri
thing.
is not as good as the Google, I think, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, because you don't use it as often.
Probably not. How about the AI? I was going to ask here. I mean, is that part of what they're talking about too? Because
yeah, I mean, well, because it's
really,
listening. Well, that's what do you think that is? What do you think a virtual assistant is?
Well, but you have to talk to it first,
right? And then you train it and give it all the information, and you do all this
stuff. It knows
stuff.
everything about Kathy and me.
Does it know? Can it differentiate between you and Kathy's voice?
I use it. I type in. I don't use voice activated for chat or any of the AI stuff.
No, I mean, like you have a smart speaker,
yeah,
yes?
I do.
Yeah,
yeah.
that you shout out. Does it know the difference between you and Kathy?
Kathy's voice? Good question. No.
Ours does. It's weird. Ours will say, "Thank you, Scott," or "You're welcome, Jerry."
I don't think our because we both turn the lights off and on, and they don't say anything about who's saying the command.
No, so I'm just saying, like, there's some stuff, like, it's a little weird. But as Kira was saying, technology is here, and you kind of move forward.
You got to deal with it.
But you don't have to deal with that.
You don't want to.
If you don't want
Unplug.
to, you can get another. Like, I've got another speaker. I was just thinking about this. I'm like, it's been chatting back in like weird ways.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just me. Sorry, this moment of paranoia brought to you by Out Chicago. Available at heartlandsignal.com, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, wherever you get all your podcasts. Let's go.
A lot of people feel like you do about it, so you're not alone.
I know, but the convenience. So it's summertime now. I was chatting with, after we went to the parade, and I was chatting with my friend and neighbor, Brooke, and she's like, I love the 4th of July because it just always makes it feel like summer has arrived. It feels...
It usually arrives around the beginning of July these days, it seems, yeah.
Yeah, but just like, the summer weather, it's weird. Has all been June weather. We know. The seasons have shifted a month.
They have.
And it's going to be hot. So when we get to the end of August and you always get sad, just remember we still have all of September. We're just going to be blazingly hot.
It'll be nice.
There you go. But like, she was like, it's summer and it's official. And it just feels like, all of this stuff, people have the days off and we do movies. So, and they have been, our neighbors, Brooke and Megan, have been the people who we would do our patio drive-ins. And Thursday, I got home from work. They were sitting outside, even though it was so hot. And they're like, "What are you doing tonight?" And we're like, "I don't think we have any plans." And Megan's a really good cook. She's like, I'm thinking about doing a little surf and turf. Do you want to partake?
What kind of surf and what kind of turf?
Some sort of steak and some sort of shrimp. And I was like, we're on board.
Sure.
And then so we thought it's the summertime. It's time for blockbuster movies. So we were going to do a whole. We were like, Jurassic Park. Let's watch this outside on the patio. And by the time dinner got ready, it started to rain. So we were like running around. But we ended up watching it inside their condo and projected on a wall. And it was still fun and all that sort of thing. But those sorts of moments, they kind of make up little bits of summer. Like, maybe it's because, I've been thinking about the spirit of 76, of 1976, not 1776, the way that the right has kind of claimed that as some weird sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, is there any I've just been feeling really nostalgic. You know, like the smell of Coppertone, Coppertone sun lotion when you're in the way back of a station wagon where there were no seatbelts and a door and all that stuff. Days. The good old days. But like, are there any things like going to the movies? When I was a kid, nothing made me happier than being able to spend a hot day inside a cold movie theater. Because I grew up outside of St. Louis,
it's
and
really
it
hot
is
in the summer.
humid.
Yeah, it is.
It is humid. Like, are there any summer things that you love to do?
That I love to do.
Yeah.
Well, I love to barbecue out and grill outside, and I've been daunted, and I've been thwarted, and it's just. Every time I try to do a big family barbecue,
it's 1 million degrees out.
It can be cold as heck getting ready, leading up to that day. But then and I don't mind sitting outside. I'm like, let's sit outside. Nobody wants to sit outside. So I'm constantly having these barbecues at our house where we're always inside. But I mean, I have one big one a year, like I said, because my family comes to visit. You know, 4th of July to me is the beginning of summer, like the real kickoff of summer.
Like Brooke was saying,
Yeah, and I agree with that. And it's just, July is one of my favorite summer months, but it goes by so fast. All of a sudden, the days, you get to August, you get to the market days, and it's like, oh, it's getting darker sooner. How did that happen so quickly? So I just like to drink up the month of July. I will go to Michigan for a week. We will hopefully get out and golf. We will actually grill outside and have people sit outside. You know, I mean, I love that kind of thing. I love taking my walks and being warm and actually,
I was thinking about you this entire week.
I walked.
And I'm like, this is some lizard person weather.
I walked
right
4 miles in it on Friday.
Friday wasn't too bad.
It was 90 though. 90
Yeah, no, it was hot.
Yeah,
No,
it was hot.
don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Because I also was trying to channel my my suburban St. Louis and also my time in Memphis, where you just have to surrender to the heat. You know, it's like, just don't keep your houses so cold. You know, turn that thermostat up a little bit, because it's when it's like 98 degrees,
it's such a
like 78. It's just
it's bad.
like 75 is great. It's freezing. But kind of just going and just all right, just relax into it. Because summer, I think we're supposed to slow down. We're supposed to slow down. We're supposed to kind of take in, you're take a look at all the stuff that's things that are blooming in season and things that are growing and stuff that you can do. Just be present and be slow.
Yeah, I did walk slow. I did make a point of making a lot slower walk. I love the garden. Everything's starting to, tell you this weather's been great for the gardens. I mean,
I had to rescue an elephant ear that was drowning yesterday.
Right. You told me that.
Oh my God, it was horrible. I bought all these new pots, but I forgot to take the little plugs out.
Oh, it's got a drain.
Well, 2 of them I was able to, not a problem. Boop, boop, boop. They were up because they just had little stoppers. And then, I just jammed my hand with a screwdriver. I'm trying to show you. It's awful. Yeah, right there. Because
so sorry, had a gardening accident.
It happens. So we had to do it. But I love that. Yeah,
it's just every day we get out and look at the garden, and the tomatoes are forming, and we got the first cherry tomatoes already.
Come on now.
I used fresh cilantro and jalapeno in my guac that I made twice this week.
All right.
I love that.
I can never grow cilantro.
You know what? I've never been able to grow it either, and this summer it is growing.
It's the rain.
Thriving. It's all the cool in the rain because it gets burned out.
It gets burned up. Yep. All right. I'll go ahead.
I was going to say, before we forget, let's give our friends at
Artemis Singers
a little bit of a shout out and a plug. They are announcing today that the July 9th, 10th, and 11th concerts for the Sisters Singers Network Choral Festival that Artemis Singers is hosting will be live streamed. In fact, live stream tickets are $35 plus a $3.46 fee. It provides live online access to all 6 festival concerts because happily, I believe, the shows have sold out. Is that why?
I think so.
Yeah, so,
but hey, make sure that you check out. You can go to artemissingers.org for Chicago's very own lesbian feminist chorus. I love that. And that is going to wrap it up for us today. be a little slow.
Yeah,
There we
take it
are.
easy.
Take pride in patriotism. Do a little bit thinking. And also do a little bit of thinking. I want to thank all of our guests, Alan H. Green and Kira Fromm. Matt, you were fantastic
Thank you,
running the
Matt.
board today. Paul, you were really great. I missed seeing your mug last week. Ellen Miller, I want you to enjoy the week.
Thank you.
Stay
Heading out to
warm.
Fitzgerald's for the American Music Fest.
Right on. And I'm Scott Duff. And until next week, stay
Stay proud.
proud.